Night, participants, and welcome to Sociology. My name is Ryan Slomka, and I am so glad that you are here to spend a little bit of time with me and hear about my course. To begin with, here is a little bit about me. Like I said, my name is Ryan, and sociology is not the only course that I teach here at Stony Creek High School. I also teach philosophy, and I teach a whole bunch of geometry. When I'm not at Stony Creek High School, slang and knowledge, I love to hang out with my family, and I like to race bikes. I like to fix things, and I love exploring with my kids. After school, I am the ski and snowboard coordinator. So if you've got a student or if you yourself are interested in learning to ski or you love skiing already and you need some discounts on some lift tickets, please come join the club. It is a for fun club. It's not competitive, and we love hanging out on the slopes and having a great time during the winter. As far as the course goes, let's talk goals. You may be interested in becoming a chemist, so you take a chemistry course, or you might be interested in becoming a physicist, so you take a physics course. And if you're interested in being a sociologist, then you can take a sociology course. But my goal is not to train a whole bunch of professional sociologists, but I do think that my course is extremely valuable. So, what is my course for if it's not for training professional sociologists? Well, my goal is to uncover some of the inner workings of the society that we find ourselves in and to cultivate the subjective observer that exists within all of us. So, a person can be very unpredictable. They can do lots of strange things, but groups of people are incredibly predictable. And if you know those trends and if you can analyze them and see them ahead of times, that can help you out in a lot of different ways. You can think around corners and you can swim upstream and you can do the things that other people do, especially avoiding things like conflict. I think this is a particularly helpful skill, especially if you are about to leave the comfort of the home that you've been living in and move into a dorm at a university, and you're now surrounded by groups of people that you haven't spent a lot of time with, and you need to make sure that things are going as smoothly as possible. I think that sociology is an amazing tool in order to help you out with that. So, how are we going to do it? Well, we are going to do that by trying to understand things in multiple ways. So take a look at this picture right here. What do you see first? Do you see the old grandmother or do you see the young debutante? My goal for my students and for you is that you can see both. There isn't a right answer and a wrong answer here. There's just two answers, and understanding both of them is the most important part. In sociology, if we want to get technical about it, the way that we take on these multiple perspectives is we use the functionalism perspective, the conflict theory perspective, and the symbolic interactionism perspective. These are the tools that we use in the course all the time that help us understand and analyze situations from different perspectives. And once again, there isn't necessarily a right one or a wrong one, but there are lots of them, and understanding all of them is the most important part. Here's the way our class is going to get structured. We always are going to start off a little bit of guided notes, but not enough to be super boring. Guided notes is a great way to make sure that we've got our fundamentals down. And unfortunately, in sociology, there's a lot of vocabulary. And so we got to make sure we know what those words are before we can start using them. Next, small group activities. Small group activities are a lot of fun, and they allow us to kind of submerge ourselves in some universes that we don't usually find ourselves in on a daily basis. And that brings up a lot of really great discussion. Speaking of discussion, discussion and debate is the number one best way to make sure that your student is understanding and mastering sociology. So we will be doing a lot of that. Group presentations. Group presentations are a great way for students to insert their own opinions, own tastes, own pop culture into the course. And so they have a lot of agency when they're building and designing their group presentations and individual presentations. And so those are something that I really like to see. Pop culture analysis, analyzing fiction and nonfiction films, comics, satire, articles, and stories are a really great way to look very carefully at the sociology that might pass in front of your eyes very quickly. And so you can kind of take a little bit more time with those types of pieces. guest speakers. We've had plenty of professional sociologists and others come into the course, and I'm sure that we will have plenty more. And then lastly, scholarly articles. Our articles of technical nature are things that are very important to me, and we will read some of them, but we won't read a ton because I love them, and I hope that your student does, but I know that not all students will. Out of all the things in this list, the one that is the most important to me is the discussion and debate. One of the best ways to have one of these discussions is through a Socratic seminar. And that is where this discussion is not being led by a teacher like me, but rather a peer-to-peer, student-to-student discussion, where lots of different peer perspectives are brought up, and then they can be agreed with or disagreed with, and discussed and challenged and analyzed. And that is it's a powerful, powerful thing to see students carrying on and having these very in-depth conversations where an adult is not part of it. And I'm looking to highlight these as often as I can in our course whenever we have strong material to work with. Speaking of strong material, let's take a look at some of our grading. We have got some assignments that we will pepper in, but certainly not every day of the week. Those will be 20% of the grade. Assessments, which will be made up of short quizzes that I promise you that your students will have plenty of time in class to prepare for. They will be 35% of your grade. Those projects and presentations where students are going to have a lot of agency are going to be 35%, and participation, which really means hearing student voices, is going to be 10% of our grade. And so that is a good mix that has worked well for us for the last couple of years. Lastly, if at any point your student is struggling or in need of some support, or if they need just some flexibility, they would like to do a project in a different way, they would like to be assessed in a different way, they would like to participate in a discussion in a different type of way, I am a quick discussion. I am a quick email away, and I will be happy to make a change to the course so that your student can benefit from that. And so we can make this as positive of an experience as possible, because I feel that mastery is going to be a lot easier to achieve if it is something that is enjoyable. So I hope that we can have a really, really fantastic semester, and I hope that you get to enjoy some really, really fantastic and interesting dinner time conversations that involve some sociology in the next couple of months as well. Uh, Enjoy the rest of your curriculum night, and I hope to see you at parent-teacher conferences.